Hello, my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. Jack Chow, your host on G&E TV with East West. Yes, life is so huge and big subject for you to look into. And if you open each department and you knock doors on each department, you will find each of the department is a world itself, right? And then when you go each corner to find out something, for example, you open one drawer of this office and you see all of a sudden the drawer becomes a world to you already. That indicates that there are things you think you know. No, not necessarily. There might be things. There are things. To me, well, I haven't even seen 1% of the world yet. This is what I will confirm myself, right? So joining me is my good friend, Mr. Ken Hemmings. He is the author of this book called Life is Simple. Like I explained in the first few segments that this is such a book. You see books everywhere, but this is the kind of book that really tells you how you should take your second or even third consideration about your attitude towards life. Now, we have been doing word by word. All of a sudden we came down. Finally we came down. At the last we came down to the word L-O-V-E, called love. So what's your definition of love? Give me some answers, please.
Well, one thing I will say, I always sort of sum up my thoughts on something,
okay.
and I say love, it is everything.
Mm-hmm.
A life without love is very shallow, very empty.
Sure.
But love by itself does not require two people. Love can exist. It does not require reciprocity. I love you, you love me. If I love you, you reject me. You can't stop me from loving you. I have the freedom of love.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so, and then love can be toward anything such as nature, activities that you seek. And love gives depth to life. It gives meaning, and even though love can give some of the greatest moments of joy and comfort and peace and excitement, love also gives some of the greatest pain. And when you have pain from love, I think that's very beautiful also, because I think it's an emotion very, very worthy of being experienced. I've had, we talked about poems before. My favorite poem I wrote when I was rejected by somebody I loved very much is Love Lost. It's a poem of all pain that gave me such great beauty to perform with.
Oh, good. It looks that we touched two major areas. One is the broader range of love, right? Broader range definition of love. The other is specific.
Yeah,
microscopic view of love, and it tracks to certain areas. For example, you're talking about a father-daughter kind of love, right?
Yes.
And the devotion, mother-son love, and the couple between couples, their love, and you can also on the broader range and love your job, right?
Absolutely.
Kind of thing. And lots of people can love money, and well, nobody doesn't. But
right.
It all
but they can
depends,
obsess
right?
too much.
Now, let me drag it to the microscopic point of view, to the love area, to the romance kind of a category.
Okay.
Right. Now, let's do this. People say love is mutual. Do you agree to that?
That is the ideal. That's the ideal circumstance of love. However, it does not minimize the joy of love if it's only one way, in my opinion. Okay.
All right, and could also be.
Well, it can be just as enjoyable to love on a one-way street as, there's greater power. It builds up kind of like nuclear power. When love goes back and forth, the power is gained and there's no stopping it.
Sure.
Okay, there's no stopping it. So that's the ultimate objective of love, is mutual growing love.
Does love have a prerequisite?
I think
like they say in the Kiss song, "I love you, you love me," that kind.
Like friendship. Friendship has to be earned. Love sometimes is not really earned. It just comes out of our soul.
All right.
Okay, so you could very well love a person, perhaps not worthy of your love, because it can be uncontrollable. It's not as needing to be earned. It can live by itself. It happens by itself. It's not premeditated.
Somebody says true love is unconditional. Do you agree?
For mostly, I would say for family and deep, long-term relationships. But I would say there are conditions to love.
There are conditions.
I believe there are
you
conditions.
Think so, right?
I do.
But do you think they say love between men and women, true love, is unconditional? Do you think that's a philosophy that'll stand?
I think the way it can stand is because one of the words we've talked about is the ability to accept. And so when two people love each other mutually, and they all have flaws, and somebody maybe does something that's not pleasing to the other person, you accept that momentary characteristic and continue with your love. So it's a lot to do with acceptance, not harshness, not harsh response.
Right. Use some of the poems that I read describing love or depicts love that says, the sun was created by God to give out heat and energy, right?
Yes.
Right. Does it need a condition that we have to be thankful to the sun? Or someday, if we stop our appreciation, the sun will get so angry and say, come on, I'll shine somebody else. I will not shine you.
You know, that's such a wonderful concept you're sharing because you can't think of the earth without thinking of the universe. And the universe is so vast it can't be measured. And so I guess the sun is less judgmental of our behavior on planet Earth than we are of each other's behavior on planet Earth.
So I like this poem not only because of the word they used, the word they adopt, and also the rhythm of it. I like the concept, and it depicts my understanding of true love. If you are talking, unless you're talking about commercial love,
right?
You're talking about commercially conditional love, something like that. If you're talking about true love, the true love, you're talking about an unconditional love. Take what? Take, for example, take Rose and Jack on Titanic, for example.
Yes.
Of course, that's a fiction story, right? And there's not such a person, such a couple, such persons in history, but that's a good story.
And they exist.
Right? So they existed, right?
Yes.
Okay, now, can you say that's not love?
No, I wouldn't say it's not love. I'd say it is love.
It is love.
It is love.
Does it have any condition? Who promised who something?
No, not in that. However, love to be absolutely eternal requires a little acceptance and tolerance. Tolerance is always mixed in there a little bit. But I have a story.
And sacrifice too.
And sacrifice, exactly. You don't put yourself first.
That's the only the life piece.
Yes.
The survival piece, which is a board.
Yes.
A wood board, right?
Right.
Something like a panel of a door or something.
Yeah.
Or like that kind, right?
Yes.
So, and he offered to her.
Right. So she could continue.
She can live like 80 years old, have many children and grandchildren, like that kind.
I just heard a story within the last week. A couple married 60, 70 years. The wife died, and it was in Japan, and the man was just so morose, so depressed, that he then goes up to a high waterfall and jumps off so he can be with his wife. This is a real story. It's not fiction.
Want to be together, want to be eternally together.
Right.
Right. So.
Right. And I accept that.
He was afraid that if he decides later, he might be too late.
I accept those kind of responses to true love.
I respect that too.
I do.
But to get to the point, though, love is unconditional.
It's unconditional with certain limits.
With certain limits.
With certain limits. I love my daughter.
You're more realistic than I am.
I like what you're saying. I love my daughter more than my own oxygen. But yet, if she goes out and murders 5 people, there will be a challenge to. But the love will still exist.
Of course.
Yeah.
You're talking about well, you stretch it to cover other areas. So that you will try to compare love and moral issues. So let's forget that part. Talking about love itself, love and romance, to my understanding, to the philosophy that go ahead.
I want to share one thing, pretty please, because like love, love is so beautiful when it's existing and it's mutual. It's so beautiful. But sometimes then, if all of a sudden two people that love each other, they're apart for a while, and they get by okay, and then they're all excited to get back. But my deep concept is love is pain, and what real love is when then your sweetheart or whatever, and you're apart. It hurts that you're apart. It's painful that you're apart, and you're thinking about it and feeling it all the time. If you could just leave somebody that you love, but you're casually going on with life, that's a different depth than love being pain. Love requires some pain from absence to be unbelievably deep.
All right, good. And we have been so deep in it already.
This is deep.
Let's go one step further.
Yes, sir.
Okay, one step deeper. Does each love, have to go into marriage?
No.
Or have to lead into marriage?
No.
Why not?
Love by itself, I don't think has anything to do with marriage. Marriage is a beautiful institution that I believe in, but love is a destination fully achieved when currently existing, whether legal or legally entwined or not. So love has its own existence, and that's society. Marriage is a society type thing, I think, and it's a lovely thing. It's a form of commitment, but it doesn't mean, if you look at our divorce rates, I'm not sure what the commitment is. Okay.
Oh, by the way, did you pick divorce under your D? No.
Of course not. No, it's negative. However,
did you take a marriage under it?
No,
You didn't
because
take
that's
marriage.
not a personal attribute. That's a
I see.
attribute
It's
of
a
life.
union.
Yeah,
It's kind of a union.
These
right?
are all for personal attributes comprising a value system that you are proud to live within.
All right, good. And there's also a saying that if you pin your hope or your trust of love into a final step to the chapel,
Yes.
and to the moment, and to the ring, to the I do,
Yes.
you are making a mistake. What they're trying to say is that every single day of you loving her is love. And then make sure that love is true, that love is pure.
Okay.
If things keep on staying like that for 10 years without having to go to a chapel, and
Yes.
then each single day of the 10 years was true,
Yes.
was correct,
Okay.
was confirmed, because she has the freedom, or he has the
Right.
freedom to go away any specific given moment.
Right.
The fact he or she didn't go, meaning the love is there.
You say reaffirms that the love
That
exists.
reaffirms again and again and again. So do you think I'm going too much against the marriage?
I would say the way society is right now, marriage is not a reaffirmation. Continued relationship is the same reaffirmation for love, whether married or single. I believe that.
All right. So in other words, we should separate the concept between love and marriage.
I believe, yes. And love and marriage is a good song. They go together like
Yeah,
a
of
horse and
course,
carriage.
yeah, of course,
And
yeah,
so it's probably the ultimate combination.
Of course. Like you say, A or B or both of the above.
Right, both of the, exactly right. Both of the above.
All right, we choose A and B. Well,
That's
we
right.
end up with both of the above. But anyway, I believe you know what I mean, right? I haven't done yet. I'm not done yet. So on the love thing, we'll probably find another time to talk. Let's take a short moment now. We got more words to pick when we come back. So stay with us. Be right back.